In the early morning of September 10th, 1813, the waters of Lake Erie lay eerily calm, shrouded in a thick mist that blurred the line between lake and sky. Commanding his fleet from the flagship, USS Lawrence, Commodore Oliver Hazard Perry stood ready to engage with the British fleet. But this day was unlike any other in naval history. This time, beside him, towered the colossal figure of King Kong, a giant who had been enlisted in a twist of fate to serve alongside the American forces. The enlistment of King Kong had been a miraculous event, whispered in the halls of history as both a curse and a gift. With unexpected intelligence and loyalty, King Kong had aligned himself with the American cause, guided by an unspelled sense of justice. As the fog lifted, revealing the enemy's sails, the battle drums began to play, a sound that resonated in Kong's great heart. The fleets soon clashed in the cacophony of booming cannons and clashing swords. Commodore Perry, a man of relentless courage, directed the battle with skill and determination. By his side, King Kong became an untamed force. As cannonballs tore through sails and splintered decks, Kong moved with agile might, using tree trunks as spears and granite boulders as ammunition. The British found themselves facing not just man-made weaponry, but a living fortress of nature's wrath. Despite their tenacity, the British ships began to falter against this unforeseen onslaught. At a critical juncture of the battle, Perry's flagship, the Lawrence, was heavily damaged. With casualties mounting and morale waning, the tide seemed to be turning against the Americans. Yet in this moment of despair, Perry made a courageous decision. He led a daring maneuver to transfer his command to another ship, the USS Niagara. King Kong, sensing his allies' peril, created a diversion by pounding the surface of the lake, sending waves that rocked the enemy's ships and bought Perry the time he needed. With Perry at the helm of the Niagara, the battle resumed with revitalized vigor. The American forces rallied, inspired by the courage of their leader and the unexpected aid of the giant who had turned the tide. Kong, aware of the shifting momentum, tore through the enemy ranks, dismantling masts with his bare hands and lifting iron cannons as if they were children's toys. The sight of his might instilled fear and awe, leaving the British troops unable to rally. Just as defeat seemed imminent for the British, a brave young officer attempted to exploit a vulnerability on Kong's side, a chink in his armor. But Kong, with an instinct born of battles in other lands and times, swept the officer aside, all without malice, sparing his life as a gesture of the mercy that so few see in war. By day's end, the frenetic battle had subsided into silence, and the fog returned to cradle the shattered ships. Commodore Perry's message of victory, hastily scrawled on a piece of paper, read, "We have met the enemy, and they are ours." King Kong stood silently, his massive form silhouetted against the setting sun, glancing at the remnants of combat with solemn understanding. The Battle of Lake Erie had ended, cementing a crucial victory for the American forces. Yet, in the echelons of history, it would also be remembered for the unexpected heroism of an unlikely ally, a tale of courage and fellowship that transcended the ordinary realms of warfare.